the doctor came back, Dr. Sanchez from Pittsburgh, UPMC, great guy. And he just said, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have stage 4 esophageal cancer, and it's in the liver, lymph nodes, stomach, intestines, esophagus, et cetera. And it literally froze me. Like, I'll never forget that feeling, with my, being there with the family and stuff, and it froze me. But, it didn't conquer me. So to answer the other part of
you though, like, did you have any reason? You're totally shocked.
Totally shocked. Like, no reason. Like, I mean, I knew I had like blood issues. Like, I was having low energy. Like, I'm walking up the steps. Like, I couldn't make it up the steps back in like early December. I'm like, something's not right here. Kind of getting sick between meetings at work, stuff like that. But totally never crossed my mind. I didn't even think I had cancer, let alone what they diagnosed me with. So yeah, total shock, Chris. Like no symptoms, like nothing in my head ever thought like, oh, this could be something serious. I just figured it was something that maybe a bleeding or something like that. But so to answer your other question, though, the prognosis was, hey, you got 3 months to live, man. I mean, that's what they straight up told us, like, get your will written, get your assets sold and try to live the best life you can for the next few months.
Most of us never learned how to train our brains, which is why most of us needlessly settle, struggle, and worse, suffer. My name is Chris Doris, and I want to make brain training mainstream. This is my series, Tough Talks, Conversations on Mental Toughness. I'm interviewing badasses from all walks of life on what mental toughness means to them and their unique approaches to strengthening their minds. Hey folks, welcome back to Tough Talks, Conversations on Mental Toughness. I'm your host, Chris Doris. And one housekeeping item, as always. If you aren't getting my daily dose messages every morning at 6 a.m., like right around 6 a.m. in your inbox, the daily dose mental toughness tips in 30 seconds or less. If you're not getting my new blog posts, notifications of those every Tuesday, and if you're not getting notifications of these new Tough Talks podcast episodes, then why don't we fix that, shall we? You could do that by going to ChristopherDoris.com/lists, LISTS, ChristopherDoris.com/lists. Name, email, click, done. Our guest for today's episode, his name is Sal Ponzio. I was introduced to him just about a week ago. He's a friend of a client of mine. And Sal was diagnosed towards the very end of 2019 with stage 4 cancer in 5 places in his body: esophageal cancer, liver, stomach, intestinal, and lymph node cancer. He was given, I think, 2 or 3 months to live, and now he's a year past that. He's about a year and 3 months past it. It ain't over. And I asked him if he'd be willing to share his story. Like, what are his thoughts, his experience? You had very, very little conversation, he and I, prior to this. I had a conversation with him once last week, and it was maybe 15 minutes long. So as is typical with my guests, I have very limited, unless I know them really well, then I have very limited contact with them in advance to keep the conversation fresh. I was hoping that today we can get to maybe some, inside scoop on what are his fears, what are his hopes, where is his confidence level, what is he pulling off, how is he doing it, is he doing things to strengthen his mind? I know that he's doing things to strengthen his body for sure. He's a fitness nut. So anyway, let's go see what the role of mental toughness, what it's playing, the role that mental toughness is playing in the life of someone who was told a year and 3 months ago that he's only got 3 months to live. Let's go find our boy Sal. Found him. There he is. Mr. Sal Ponzio. What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing, Chris?
Well, like I've been saying for the last year plus now, the standard response, as long as it's true, which it has been for about 365 consecutive days, BDDOML, which stands for best damn day of my life.
Love it, man. Love it.
Thank you for asking, because I use, whenever somebody asks me that question, how you doing? I use that as a reminder. I may not say it out loud, but I use it as a reminder to redeclare
No matter what time of day, it could be 9 p.m. I'm about to go to bed, but still declare best day of my life.
Absolutely. I
So
love
we
it,
were
man. I
introduced.
love it.
We were introduced recently, Sal, by a client of mine, and he told me about your story, and I wanted to share your story with my audience, okay? Because as you know, the podcast is called Tough Talks, Conversations on Mental Toughness. And what you're experiencing at this point in your life, of course, requires, and I mentioned it in the intro, a shitload of mental toughness. So I was wondering if we could really, this is an interesting episode because I have not had a guest on who is in the midst of the experience that you're in the midst of. And I'm saying that a little bit ambiguously in my language on purpose because I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't want to say like who's going through the challenge that you're going through. Maybe that's your language, maybe it's not. I want you to be able to use your language.
Totally. Yeah.
But I did let the audience know in advance in the introduction about December 19th, 2019, and the 5 kinds of cancer you were diagnosed with. So if you could you just give us, and that's all I really said. So if you could just give us like a brief history, right, of like your diagnosis and the situation, and then we'll spend the rest of our time, if it's cool with you, talking about what are you doing with that, especially psychologically.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. I'll get into it real quick. So yeah, like you mentioned in the intro, December 19th, 2019, like Steve Jobs always says, man, everyone in life gets hit in the face with a brick one time or another. And, it's how you deal with it. You choose how you deal with it. You get in the face with a brick, you can get up or you're going to stay down. So the brick to me was stage 4 esophageal cancer, which you mentioned, it's in 5 areas, and total brick in the face, like just derailed my entire life. And but it's a challenge, and it's something I look forward to conquering. And so I got hit with a diagnosis, and you kind of let it sit in for a while. You got to let it sink in and digest it. So for a few months, it was tough there, and not to mention physically and all that stuff. And anyone that's been through it, they know it, and then you have an appreciation for it too. So, just going through all that and here we are now, 2021, and, I'm still here. They never thought I'd be here, but that's kind of where the journey started, was December 19th, 2019, and just been battling ever since, man. Yeah.
Well, can you tell us, you and I have only had one conversation before, and during that call, you elaborated a little bit more upon what it was like to get that diagnosis, what it was like to be told. And could you tell us what you were told, and like what was the experience for you? Like, was there a prognosis that accompanied the diagnosis, and what was that?
Yeah, totally. So, we went in, like I was having low energy and, there's issues. So I went in for the checkup, and they thought it was like a bleed internally. So I thought it was like something with the stomach or an ulcer or whatever. So ended up finding out that there was a tumor in my esophagus. So from there, we still were like, okay, whatever, get it removed, blah, 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 we're fine. But then when they did the CT scan to scan the entire body just to check, it's something that they do, I guess. And so to answer your question, the doctor came back, Dr. Sanchez from Pittsburgh, UPMC, great guy. And he just said, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have stage 4 esophageal cancer, and it's in the liver, lymph nodes, stomach, intestines, esophagus, et cetera. And it literally froze me. Like, I'll never forget that feeling, with my, being there with the family and stuff, and it froze me. But, it didn't conquer me. So to answer the other part of
you though, like, did you have any reason? You're totally shocked.
Totally shocked. Like, no reason. Like, I knew I had like blood issues. Like, I was having low energy. Like, I'm walking up the steps. Like, I couldn't make it up the steps back in like early December. I'm like, something's not right here. Kind of getting sick between meetings at work, stuff like that. But totally never crossed my mind. I didn't even think I had cancer, let alone what they diagnosed me with. So yeah, total shock, Chris. Like no symptoms, like nothing in my head ever thought like, oh, this could be something serious. I just figured it was something that maybe a bleeding or something like that. So to answer your other question, though, the prognosis was, hey, you got 3 months to live, man. I mean, that's what they straight up told us,
Well,
get your will written, get your assets sold and try to live the best life you can for the next few months. But
that's going to be such an unbelievable thing to hear. Sell your assets. Live the best life you can for 3 months because you're out of here.
Pretty much. It's kind of what that was kind of the prognosis, and more to it that no one told me at the time, family and loved ones were in the other room when they told them more of the details of once it gets in the intestine and this and that, and they've never seen anyone live past certain dates and blah blah blah.
Oh, they added that too. I've never seen anyone survive this past what did they say past? I've never seen anybody survive.
It was like a year and a half, roughly, something like that. Personally, the people that they treated they said there was one guy that was lasted a year, and he was still around, is what they told me. So about a year was the longest they've ever seen anyone, just personally in their world. Now that could be other people out there.
Okay, but still, that was so interesting. And we know you and I talked when we spoke the first time. You mentioned a couple of books, which interestingly happened to be sitting on my desk.
How about that, man?
There's a lot of books in this house, but there's only about 10 of them, 10 or 12 that sit on my desk, and because they're amongst my favorites. And here's one of them. Look how long this. Look, I even have this is like a straw wrapper. This is.
You ran out of paper. You put a straw there. That's awesome.
I ran out of Post-its, so I just had I don't know. I had a drink or something. But from back in the day, they've had this book for a very long time. And you said you were reading this. And by the way, so for the people that are listening on the podcast version of this and can't see what I'm holding up here, it's a book entitled Timeless Healing. The subtitle is The Power and Biology of Belief, written by a guy, Herbert Benson, who has an amazing story, by the way, of his own. And
he does.
Yeah. And then the other book that you mentioned was also on my damn desk because I love this guy. This one is called The Biology of Belief, written by Dr. Bruce Lipton, who is.
And you met him, right? Did you meet him or did you meet one?
Not yet. I got to get him on the podcast. Anybody out there got a connection to Dr. Bruce Lipton, let me know. Yeah, I'll get him on here. I haven't met him yet. Have you?
No, I have not. I'm not. But I remember you mentioning something about that. But yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I would love to. The guy.
It's just, good stuff. Of course, it's like Herbert Benson's subtitle is the main title. Basically, it's a biology belief. Now, that's what we're really talking about here.
Yeah.
Right. So, but let's go back. Okay, the reason I just thought of these books is because one of the things that Herbert Benson talks a lot about, and a lot of people talk about this, like Deepak Chopra talks about, a lot of people in the Heal documentary that I mentioned to you, talk about this, which is like the power of a prognosis, or you could just call it the power of suggestion, right? The influence of an authority figure. So when the experts, right, the doctors in this case, are the experts, and they say, this is the deal, this is how long we project that you have, never seen anybody make it past this. What's happening is they're planting massive seeds of belief.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that you believe to be true? They're giving you those beliefs.
Yeah.
Which is really fascinating. So let me ask you, can you remember the day you got that diagnosis and that prognosis, the same day you got the diagnosis and prognosis?
Correct. Yeah. Like in the same 5 minutes. Yep.
That's the brick. So,
yep.
Well, I seriously cannot imagine that. I can imagine it, but I certainly can't tell you that I get it. I haven't had that experience. So were you crushed? Were you resigned to that? Did you believe that it was true and that you were dying? And did you start to immediately think of all right, how do I end my life with some grace? And
Yeah. So some of those thoughts came in, man, because I'll tell you, I was so sick and like I said, I couldn't walk up steps without being out of breath, literally laying down. It was not good. And then you get that and you're like, shoot, this is really serious. This is why I'm feeling.
Narrowly avert an F-bomb right there, Sal? Did you narrowly avert an F-bomb? That's fine. I just want to call that out because that's fun to me. I do that all the time.
I got caught in my hand.
I just This is, I would say, PG, I don't know, 17 kind of podcast. So yeah, if you can just accidentally drop it up, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
So, but
Yeah.
anyway, sorry.
But
I just started the word and then finished with something else. So I thought maybe that was.
Yeah. No, it's funny. No, you caught that. That's good. But yeah, so like, just at first, like I said, it's like a brick hitting you in the face. It just blows you out and you just knocks you down. And like I said, that first month, man, like that's just like that. It's literally like just, man, absorbing it. It literally took a month for me to even absorb that news. It's like, no way, but
that's amazing. Since they're telling you only got 3 of them, and it took you.
Yeah, how about, what I mean? You're right. Like, so I'm wasting a month of my time doing this. But the thing though is that once I started I had to get blood infusions every week because my blood count was so low. I was like, they were saying I was like 3 days away from dying, going to the hospital in the first place. Like when they first saw me, they're like, I've never seen anyone with a hemoglobin of 4 walk into a hospital. And so that was another freaky thing. It's like, I barely made it. And, but once I started getting the blood transfusions and getting energy back and the ability to eat and swallow because the chemo was reducing the tumor, I'm telling you what, man, that just, I'm a kind of a positive, optimistic guy anyway. And that just gave me so much fuel. It's like, this thing is getting better. And I was beating the shit out of me. Like I was losing weight. I was down to 145, down from 185. But that's the other moment I had too, Chris. Like I looked at the scale, I said, I'm 145. I was like, I'm not going out like this. There's no way I'm going out like this. Like I have to do whatever I have to do. So I started working out, lifting weights, being as active as I can. I mean, it wasn't easy. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't not easy at all. But what other choice do you have at that point? You know what I mean? Like you have to do what you can in your control of the situation to make the best of it. And that's the mindset I started with when I saw the scale 145, man. And I never looked back once. I just started believing like this thing's working. I'm getting better. And that's kind of how I absorb that information. You know what I mean?
So, okay. So you said, I'm not going out like this. So what are we, like a year and a half from the diagnosis?
Yeah, about a year and 3-4 months. Yep. Around that.
Yeah, right. Okay. What's your belief level now? What is your expectation for yourself?
To win, to beat this, man. I mean, like literally, it's like not even a question at this point. Like I've done so much.
It's not even you're all in. It's
I'm
not.
all in.
Do not let me put words in your mouth, man.
You're not. I am all in. I'm all in. Like because here's the thing. I gained back the weight. Okay, like they never thought I would. They never thought the cancer's been reduced 50%. I mean, it was almost gone from the liver. I mean, and just the mental training that I've went through over the last year, man. I mean, I've always meditated and visualized, but not to this level. And I don't know if that's the reason why I'm still around or what, but the belief I had and the mental training along with the physical training. And I don't know. Like I always use the mindset. You have to own your problems, whether it's this or that. I mean, obviously this is a different issue. This is like life or death. But like, I never said like, oh, why me and all these excuses and I felt bad for myself.
You never said that? You never said why me?
Never once. Like my parents were like, this is so unfair, blah, blah, blah. And I said, this is, it is what it is. Whether it's fair or not, I don't care. This is happening. And I never said why me. No, I never had pity on myself. Don't get me wrong. There was emotional moments and all that stuff, like doubt and scared. But then I said, when you're scared, all that does is just kill you quicker because your body, the way your body reacts, like the visceral blood from your organs goes to the extremities, that fight or flight thing. And that's not going to help you. You know what I mean? You know about that. You read the books. Like that's not going to help you heal when you're stressing yourself out and you're freaked out. I'm not saying it's easy. It's a horrible diagnosis. And I don't mean to tell anyone that had this, how to think or act. I'm just expressing what I did in my mindset, and that's the mindset I took. And I just like I said, own the problem. So this is an issue. I got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, 3 months to live. Well, like, what can I do to beat this? Like, I'm not going to sit around and say, oh, I feel bad for myself and give up and die. No, I'm going to fight and try everything I can. working out, mental training. You know what I mean? Being
Tell me
connected.
about that. So like, tell me about both of those. Tell me about what kind of workouts you do, or you're capable
Yeah.
of doing.
Yeah.
Like, and then, but then I really, really also want to hear about what are you doing psychologically for yourself to strengthen your mind?
Yeah, yeah. So the first thing is like, I have a weightlifting routine where like I kind of do like one body part a day. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not killing it. Like I don't have it's just the way my blood is right now. I can't do much, but I try to run a mile 2 times a week. I try to run a mile and then walk a mile. So that's 2 times a week. Get on the bike once a week, do like a 20, 30-minute spin. I do yoga twice a week and I do weights about 4 times a week. So
Wow,
weight,
that's a lot.
yeah, some days it double up. I'll do yoga and weights in the same day, or cardio and yoga. And then I've also been boxing too. My buddy has a thing in a bag in the gym, and so I'll do like 15, 20-minute round. Like I don't know, 3-minute rounds, 5-minute rounds, whatever I can do that day. My expectation of working out totally changed since before I got sick. Like before, I used to like get mad if I didn't reach certain goals. Now it's like, hey, just get in, get the heart pumping, get the blood flowing, do the best you can, and that's it. But so I mean, but I got a lot stronger. Like I'm deadlifting a little bit more and stuff, and getting into higher intensity stuff. But that's just all that's just pushing myself to do it.
Yeah.
I'll be throwing up in between sets. You know what I mean, man? Like I
What?
don't give.
Are you seriously?
Yeah, like I'll be on chemo. Like my doctor actually, he told me to stop. But yeah, dude. I mean, I'm talking days after chemo. I'm hitting deadlifts. I'm puking, going back, keep doing it, keep pushing yourself to no extent. I mean, it's just I'm all in, like you said, brother. I'm all in, man. This is, you got to do it.
All in. I mean, if you're puking in between sets, that's pretty committed. Wow. Now that's not happening now, right?
Sometimes, yeah, like but I did cut back because the doctor told me many times, and I'm finally listening to him. He's like, "You want to be a tough ass and a badass and try to work out," and he's like, "You're not doing yourself any favors. Like you're delaying the recovery because your body's so stressed from the chemo that you're just adding stress to it." He's like, "You need to relax. Like do like a lighter walk, maybe some body weight stuff. Don't get like in the kettlebells and all that stuff." So I've been listening. So the last 2 treatments, no, I haven't thrown up between workouts because I don't do it as much. I really back off because, I'm a hard-headed Italian. Like I didn't listen to him at first, but now I'm coming around to listening to him.
That's got to be a tough call, right? Like, it's like, where do you draw the line
Yeah.
between, making your own mind up and trusting the wisdom of the trained professional?
Yeah, you got it, man. Dude, you said it perfectly. That's where I'm at. But I said, let's try it, You're right.
Tell me about what you're doing for your mind. How are you nurturing your mind and your attitude and your belief system?
Yeah. So, I have a regimen where I try to go twice a day, like meditation, where I'll repeat positive affirmations. Like, so I break it into 2 sessions. 10 minutes is literally repeating, visualizing the words that are going to heal me: health, peace, love, whatever. And then, just visualize.
Slow that down a little bit. Can we just slow that down a little bit? Because I would like to know, like this is real gold here for my audience. So you're talking about like, defeating cancer with these things, not just like getting a little tougher, right? It's like developing the courage to like go start your own business or something, or write a book, which we'll get to. But like, yeah, you're talking about life or death here. So let's slow it down. Let's just slow it down a skosh. So you're doing 2 mental training sessions. I don't know anything about this. I didn't ask you these details. So this is really fresh, cool as hell, and interesting as hell for me.
Yeah.
So when you said you're visualizing these words that will have you be healthy, is that what you said?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, this is something I just made up on my own, but yes, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with these visualization of words. Yeah.
So what do you?
Like, yeah. So like the way it works is like I'll like set a timer for 10 minutes, and meditation's tough. It's not easy. People, you have other thoughts that creep into your mind and stuff. But what I do is I just try to focus on maybe 2 words each day, and then I'll rotate those words every other day. So like I'll do like love and energy, and like health and prosperity, or something like that. I change it up, but those are just examples. And then I just visualize those words. I sit there, with my eyes closed in a relaxation state. And I'll just over and over again, you just visualize the word, visualize the word. It's a grind, man. I mean, meditation, it's not that hard. It's hard to focus on that for 10 minutes straight. Then once I'm done with that, I get into like a 5 minute of where I try to think about nothing. Like, it's just like recharge the brain, get in that relaxation state. Like the book that we've been reading brought up, the relaxation response he talks about, but and it helps you just calm your nerves, your body, and not worry so much about what's going on, because your brain's scattered and wants to go all these different places. But if you just kind of can calm it down and get relaxed, it helps with the healing process. Then lastly, I'll do a 5 minute intense visualization, man. I mean, I'm talking like it will bring me to tears sometimes. I get so deep with this stuff, like about my health, about like partying, celebrating when I beat this, like just the celebration. There's a bell at the treatment center that you ring when you're healed. I visualize that, man, every day. I go through, like, the crowd's cheering me on. I'm ringing the bell. Then we're going to party after, all my friends and family there, and I visualize that stuff, man, just deep, like real, not just thinking about it. I'm talking like literally visualizing that. And that takes a lot of mental energy for me. And then, I'll visualize other things like, loving relationships or something like that, but I kind of rotate it. I don't try to do it all in one day anymore because it's just kind of hard and stressful and stuff. But so that's kind of the mental aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great. So there's so many, as you can tell from all the page markers in here, that there's some great stories. Like, there's like, I got the asthma and the spinal tap stories here.
Yeah.
The little purple pills from that one, like, little local physician, and he was out of, like, I forget what they were, but he was out of certain pills. So he didn't, like, these old people were so panicked, like, oh, the pills that I need to stay okay. But this doctor, I'm butchering the story, but the point is, like, he knew that the pills that they had been given by their previous doctor who died or something or left town was bullshit. So he just gave them purple pills that were like salt or something, and they were fine because of
crazy.
Placebo. And it's funny, like, people say, "Oh, it's just placebo." It's like, and that's what Bruce Lipton talks about. It's like, would you say just placebo?
Yeah.
What, just placebo? It is placebo. Like, that's what the whole thing is. It's a belief. It is placebo. You're getting the result that you shouldn't be getting because of what you're believing to be true that isn't even true.
Yeah.
And then there's the nocebo. So it's like, he tells, here's the story about the kids, the Japanese tree, the lacquer. So it's like our belief goes in all different. Here's one of the stories. I don't know how far you got in this book, but it's a big book.
Yeah, more than halfway. I just, I'm like on page 220 right now or something. So yeah, a lot of the.
Did you get the one with the story about the women with? So belief goes in either way, according to Herbert Benson, right?
Yeah, there's a nocebo and a placebo, but yeah, correct.
All right, plus negative. So whatever, if you're believing you're going to be sick, then your belief system is apparently, and I'll say that because I'm not a doctor, I believe it to be 100% true, but I'm not an authority in the subject. Apparently compromises your immune system or increases the probability of illness, right? Whereas if the expectation, like you're saying, you have is of wellness, then you're significantly increasing the probability of that bolstering your immune system. So there's a couple of stories. I don't know. Did you get to the story about the Japanese kids in the lacquer tree?
I did. Pretty cool.
So I guess how it goes is in Japan, they have a tree called the lacquer tree, which, like, to them is like poison ivy times 10 to some people, right? And some people have a significant allergic reaction to it. And so in this particular study, they got a bunch of the kids who have had the reactions to contact, significant skin rash reactions to contact with the lacquer tree, and they get them in the lab, and they tell them to pull up their sleeves, and they blindfold them. They make up some bullshit reason. All my favorite experiments have deception involved, and they make something, well, to make the point. So they tell the kids, we have to blindfold you for some, who the hell knows what reason. But so what they do is they say, now kids, for this arm, we're going to rub your arm with leaves from the lacquer tree. And they're like, man, because they're like, here we go, freaking rash, gonna get the damn rash. And then they go, well, we're going to rub this arm then afterwards with leaves from the chestnut tree, which doesn't do a damn thing. And then unbeknownst to the kids, they switch it up, right? They don't know because they can't see because of the blindfold. And then sure enough, and correct me if I got this wrong, because you read it a hell of a lot more recently than me. Some significant number of the kids get an actual rash on the arm that they thought was being rubbed with poison, when in fact it was not. And then that seems like an impossibility.
Correct.
So it's like, so what they're saying is that they activate with their convincedness. They started to create imagery which activated cellular memory, which resulted in a freaking rash.
It's insane, right? It's mind-blowing to me.
It's unbelievable the power of the mind-body relationship and how the body responds to what the mind's telling it.
Right.
So that they actually, like, if any one person ever had that happen, that's fascinating. But there was a significant, I don't know what percentage of or what number.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact details either. But the point is it was more than one. I mean, it was a decent amount. Yeah.
Well, even if it was 12 kids and one of them happened there too, that's an unbelievable number. So, but then then the belief, of course, works in the other way, and this is where you inspired me, which is, you choose. I say I believe the diagnosis. I challenge infinitely the prognosis, and you've already got the track record to show why that's useful. So, do you remember the story? I don't know how far in the book it is, but with the pregnant women. Okay, so there's a bunch of pregnant women, and so this is another study where the researchers get a bunch of probably like 40 or so women who are experiencing morning sickness symptoms, like classic nausea and vomiting.
I got your time. Okay.
And they tell them, we have the cure, but we can't give it to you until we, for this clinical trial, for us to be able to sell this drug on the market, we need to do these clinical trials. The clinical trials require that we give you this very thorough educational experience before we administer the drug. So we got to teach you what's going to happen when you take, what's going to happen in your body. So they take all this time, I don't know if it was 1 or 2 weeks, but it was a significant amount of time where they were just educating these women on what's going to happen when they eat this stuff. And they're using charts and diagrams and all these illustrations, and they have them even swallow stomach balloons, which measure gastrointestinal contractions and shit, all this stuff. And the whole time they're just telling them, you guys, you're so lucky that you get this because you're going to feel great. And like, well, then just give it a damn shit. So finally they give them all the medicine, right? And everyone that's listening to this already has the guess as to what it is, and 99% of them are probably wrong, like I was when I guessed. What did they give them? Now, they gave them the meds, and then a significant number, I do not know what that number is, but a significant number of them became symptom-free. So they got rid of the nausea and the vomiting. In other words, the medicine worked. But then what they ended up giving them was, whenever I ask, I did some work with physicians, Phoenix Children's Hospital a long time ago, and I would tell the story and I'd say, hey, docs, it's a room full of doctors. I'm like, what do you think they gave them? And everybody said, placebo, like a saline pill or something, right? A sugar pill. I'm like, good guess, that would matter, right? Placebo, but it was poison.
It's crazy.
Syrup of ipecac, which makes you throw up.
Yeah.
That's a ballsy move. So the doctor.
I know. I thought that was crazy too, but keep going. Yeah.
So they give them poison that makes you throw up. It's a powerful vomit-inducing drug, syrup of ipecac. Like sometimes I guess people keep it. I never heard of it until the story. Now it's like people keep it at home in case their kids eat bleach or something. They got to make them puke to take them to the hospital, make them throw up, and then run them off to the emergency room. So it's a vomit-inducing drug. So these guys gave it to the women. So not only did these women get rid of the symptoms they had in the first place, but they also nullified the action of a powerful vomit-inducing drug because of their expectation.
Right.
Which is very fascinating.
Powerful stuff, right? I mean, it's just amazing.
You're living it, dude. It is powerful, ridiculously powerful, and you're living it. So, it's very inspirational. Your attitude. You're inspiring me, man. It's like, you're just like, hey, I got this, bro. I got this.
Yeah, it's not easy, but I just take that mindset.
are there, do you still have doubts? Do you still have fears right now?
Somewhat, there's days, emotional and stuff. But,
Seems
I've come so far, man. The momentum's on my side. Like I always tell my friends, like when I started this thing, man, the opposite team was first and goal on the 1 yard line, ready to score. We stopped them on 4th and 1, and now we got the ball. We're driving. We're on the 40-yard line. You know what I mean? We're in field goal range almost, and that's where we're at. I mean, we're not going to score yet, but we're getting towards there. You know what I mean? That's the analogy.
Analogy.
So
that's interesting.
So we're going in this
analogy. What down is it? What down is it right now on your team?
I think it's second down. We did have a pass interference though last scan. We had a little step back.
Right on.
Someone was holding. So we got moved back from the 30 to the 40. But it's all good. Like I'm on a new treatment. More aggressive, but yeah. So like they found growth. They upped the dose. They upped the treatment. They got me on a more aggressive chemo. Which is fine. Like I told the doctor, you need me to run through a wall, I'll run through a wall. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like I don't give a shit about if it makes me sick or if it tires me out. I'm in this to win. I don't care about how I feel. I don't care what it does to my body. Let's get it done,
So what kinds of conversations have you had with the doctors who, like, are you still in touch with the doctor who said you've got 3 months?
No, he is. So he was a UPMC. And I'm at Youngstown, where I'm from. And then I have a doctor at Harvard, Dr. Rubinson. He is also in contact. And, he echoed some of the same things. But, I remember being in his office back in January. And he's like, do you want to know the stats? I said, no. I was like, what's that going to help me? Like,
wait. He's like, did you want to know the stats on what?
Like, he wanted to know, like, do you want to know like the average like lifespan and like, plan so you can plan and blah, blah, blah. He didn't know that the UPMC doctor told us the facts. I mean, hey, it's cold, hard facts. Like you need to know what you need. You know what I mean? So he asked me that and I didn't really know yet. It was so new. My parents didn't really tell me. I kind of got a feel for it though. Obviously when they're bringing in multiple doctors to talk to you about end of life care, I kind of connect the dots, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's like, you want to know? I was like, no. And he's like, good answer. He's like, good answer, go beat this. And here we are.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. And looking back, man, it's hard because, you want to know, you kind of want to know, but it's just like, it's not going to help me. Like, what's that going to help? Is that going to help me? No. I mean, like, it's not going to help me. So I kind of, had the mental, like,
like how many stories? So you could say, well, here's some other stats I'm interested in knowing. In addition, like if I want data, maybe I'll take all of it, not just the dark side of the data, but like the data that's in this documentary Heal, which I really want you to watch.
I will. That's on my list for sure.
I told you that I interviewed the woman who wrote it and directed it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Kelly Noonan-Gores. It's a great interview. If you haven't seen that yet, I recommend that for you because it's all about some other stats.
Okay. Yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah.
What's possible? What has happened? What like this thing called spontaneous remission. What is that? It's like doctors don't get it. It happens. Let's know about that.
Yeah.
Know about it. Let's not be delusional. Like I don't want to avoid any information.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's what you're reminding me of right now. I haven't thought about that in a while. It's like when I worked with golfers, I used to work with a lot of professional golfers. And people would say, I don't want to see this. If I'm in contention on Sunday, I don't want to know the scoreboard. I'm like, why not? Like all the data. Like I want all the data.
Yeah.
And use it well. But all the data includes the good data too.
Yeah. Did you find the golfers perform? I mean, did you have any correlation of like if they perform better not knowing the score because they can play looser?
Depends on how you deal with the information, right?
Yeah,
so
true.
So it depends on your ability to interpret the reality masterfully. Yeah. So like if to an untrained mind is probably better off not knowing
the information. I agree.
Because 100%. You might not be able to handle that information in a skillful way that will inspire you.
Yeah.
So it's like someone with an untrained mind would see that, oh my God, I'm only one stroke off the lead with 2 holes left. I better not screw this up. Now your mentality is screwing up.
Yeah.
Don't blow it. Don't blow it. Oh my God, don't blow it. When that's your mentality, which is the opposite of the meditations that you're doing.
Yeah.
Is right. What you're doing with your meditations, or you're choosing as strenuous as it is, you're choosing to focus your mind on perfect, beautiful outcomes.
Yeah, you got it.
As opposed to doom. And I think that's about as brilliant as anything we could ever do, because that's the power of imagery. Imagery is a superhuman power.
Yeah.
The ability to experience the future in the mind's eye in advance. And you're doing that. So, but now, where did you learn that?
You got it. Man, like I started, so I was taking a yin yoga class in Cleveland when I was living up there. And the woman, like I was always, in the last 5-6 years, I kind of was in meditation, just because I've read about like, hey, it's healthy for your brain, blah, 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 all the benefits and stuff. But she got me to like this like crazy point. Like I would like pass out in the class and fall asleep because she got me so relaxed and like, but it was through like repeating words in your brain. So I got a little taste of it there. Yeah. And then from I kept doing it, but then, it applied to like business, winning in the business field, being successful, blah, 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 but now I just took that same mindset and applied it to health, you know what I mean? And so that's where I kind of got a taste for it. Then, I got time on my hands. I'm in a life or death situation. Like, why not do it all the time? You know what I mean? So I try to do it as much as I can because why not? What's there's no downside. If
it ain't gonna hurt you, right? Exactly.
It works.
There is no downside.
It ain't gonna hurt you. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it ain't gonna hurt you. But I just wish more people understood, like, how powerful your brain is, man. Because, think about all the things your brain does. Like, even like depth perception and color to your eyes, while it's keeping you alive through heart rate, your nervous system, all that stuff's functioning. But then we can even think higher than that and have like those like crazy thoughts so it's so powerful that, the more I learn about the brain, the more I'm like, wow, this really makes a lot of sense. And then you start buying into it more and you believe it. And it's like, shit, this is like working. So that's kind of how I got started from it. The woman who did the yin yoga class for me. Yeah. And other than that, ever since then, I really got into it, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like the other thing too is like I'll just tell you for your viewers real quick. Like I have like I created this my own. You have your own definition. You're a mental toughness coach. You're the man. But just passing this along. Like my definition became mental toughness equals perseverance, courage plus discipline. So you have to have the perseverance to push through the difficult times and the adversity, right? But you have to have the courage to actually do it. Like the courage part's like. Most people are afraid, they're scared shitless in my situation, but you have to have the courage to rise above that, in my opinion. Like, it takes courage, there's no doubt. Trust me, like, I had a lot of doubts, I had a lot of fears, but at the end of the day, I'm like, this is not helping me. So I had the courage to act, to actually believe that this could happen. And then you have to have the discipline to see through it and continue to get up off the floor every day. It's a struggle every day. Working out's a struggle. Every workout's a struggle. But you got the discipline, the perseverance, plus the courage. Man, you're really cooking on all cylinders, I think. But I don't know how where your head's at on the mental toughness side, but I'm sure you got a lot more experience than me, man.
Not necessarily, not with this, not with defeating cancer. I don't have a damn second of experience with that. I can only you're the expert in my world on that. So thank you for that.
But I'm talking from a mental toughness standpoint, you got a lot of good stuff to offer, man. And I really like what you got going on.
You just made the title for this podcast episode, right? It's like a math equation.
Yeah.
Perseverance, it's an addition equation.
It is.
It's always my favorite.
Yeah, keep it simple for me. Subtraction, I struggle with. Addition, I could always do. Division, now that's a whole other story. I don't even try me on
that. All together, it gets very complex. But addition, I felt very safe with. Perseverance plus courage plus discipline equals mental toughness. I think I like that a lot. Slightly off subject. Hold on, give me a second. There may have been one other thing that I wanted to. Oh, yeah. One more thing before we wrap it up and give your book a plug. Have you met any other people who have had even a remotely similar diagnosis since December 19th, 2019?
I met one guy in treatment. He had liver cancer, and he's had it for 6 or 8 months or something. and it was a pretty serious diagnosis. I think they said it was terminal, the type of cancer he had. So, but he was the only, and I just met him 2 weeks ago. I even forget his name now. He was bullshitting with me.
Right.
I
was just wondering, like, if you've had the opportunity to share any of your story. Do you want to? Do you not want to do that? Like now, like where are you at? Like maybe
yeah, totally, man. It's a good question.
Doing your own gig, taking care of you, doing the work.
Yeah.
And not really proselytizing. Although I got to tell you, you're coming on the podcast, and I'm hoping that one of the effects of this interview is that there are people out there who maybe have some sort of maybe similar experience and find some inspiration. It's just like, if nothing else, a reminder to choose to do what you did. Like maybe one of the most powerful things that you've done with all this, or maybe ever, is to say, I'm not going out like this. I'm not going out like this.
Yeah.
I'm not going out like this.
That's right.
So let's go.
Yeah, that's right.
I got to figure it out. I don't know what to do. I'm going to start reading shit. I'm going to start exercising.
That's right.
I know about that. I'm good at that, as you are. And but that's about as powerful as anything I've ever known, is to make a decision. Shit, man, that's so big.
Yeah, but I have to jump in real quick, Chris. Sorry, but there is someone. So I do have a mentor through Harvard. They have a program where you can get mentors assigned to you. And there was a guy, Jeff, my mentor. He had stage 4 cancer. According to him, he thinks mine's worse. He beat it once, came back, beat it again, came back, beat it again, came back, and he just beat it again in November. My man is I think he's a four-time champ. Yeah, so the guy just does not give up. He works out. He's told me stories and stuff that he did and stuff. We have a aligned mindset. So it's good to hear someone succeed with the mindset that I have. And then the guy works out. He's a beast. He's an animal. Tough guy. Tough as nails. And he's still he's working, like going through treatments. My man is working, like just a beast, So anyway, I wanted to give a plug to him because he's been real helpful.
What's his name?
Jeff Wilnick. He's out of Cleveland. They gave him to me. He's through the Cleveland Clinic, but there's a mentorship program. Now I'm interviewed to become what he's doing to other people.
Really?
Yeah. So like I just interviewed with Harvard.
This is fascinating to me. This is so fascinating to me. But wait a minute. I'm so glad you brought this up. I was just about to wrap it up. This is pretty cool.
Sorry, I know, man.
I know people like you. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Well, in that case, let me tell you something like the most important.
Yeah, I know, man. It's like the guy you're gonna hang up the phone and tell you a story. Sorry, I just can't
wrap this up, Mr. Doris. So, so you're saying that they're asking you if you will be a mentor to someone else who's had like someone else who's had a terminal diagnosis, or someone? Yes, that's the program.
No, they match you up with, like, they even told me, like, on the call, they're like, we might not find someone. You got a crazy serious diagnosis. Like, we don't know. There's not many people walking around with your diagnosis. But if we do come across someone, would you want to help them? And that's one of my goals this year, man. I want to help as many people as I can get through this and beat this. And so I'm not through the.
Where is this program through?
Dana-Farber. So that's Harvard's hospital in Boston. Basically, there's Mass General, which is a great hospital, but Dana-Farber is the one that's like associated with Harvard. So like it's through Harvard, but through Dana-Farber, and it's in Boston. But they will go they reached out to the Cleveland Clinic and found someone. Like they couldn't find anyone in their database that was alive, frankly, that had my condition. So they found this guy, Jeff.
Actually, as the mentor, what is it that they're asking you to actually do?
So like what would happen is the way it works, the program is I'll get on a call. The client, we'll call him the client, will dictate the cadence, and I just get on a call with them and I just talk them through like, how you doing? Just be there for them, for a shoulder to cry on, or if they need emotional support, if they need, hey, what did you do? Here's some tips and tricks. Like, here's what I've been eating. Can you try, putting, yogurt in your smoothie, that helped add calories, just some tips and tricks that I can lean on. And plus all that stuff, man.
I love that exists.
Yeah. I thought the same thing, Chris, just, having the mindset, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Here are people that are defeating the odds. Well, let's hang out with them. I think that's fantastic. Good on Harvard and good on you. And good on Mark,
Cool, man.
your mentor. And good on Zach Oliva, the guy that introduced us, our good friend. For he told me you'd be a badass guest. So of course, he sent me a picture of you boxing. Actually, did you know that?
Oh, did oh my God, no, he
Yeah,
didn't.
he texted it to me. He's
Oh
like,
God,
my boy. He said because he told me about you before, and he said, "Yeah, here's my boy." And you're just nailing the bag. I'm like, "Damn, boy, go get it." Now you're also
it helps
author.
frustration out.
So okay,
Yeah, correct.
So this is a book that you actually wrote. So you're a financial planner. Is that the right terminology?
Yeah, more of a consultant. You know, I'm not like a certified financial planner, but yeah, we help advise on some financial issues and stuff. Yep.
Helping millennials save. What does that say? I can't read backwards, man. Spend and splurge.
Save, spend, and splurge, man.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, save, spend, and splurge.
Finance, and it's fun because the fit analogy is from a twist on form of exercise, high intensity interval training, but you have it financial interval training, which is cool. So fit finance, can people get this? Can the millennials who want to learn from you on how to apply this kind of mental toughness to the wealth creation, can they find this on Amazon?
Yeah.
That's what I did. What the hell am I asking that for, dumbass? Right on. Me.
Yeah, but we're all over the place, man. I appreciate that, Chris. Yeah.
Sal, thank you so much for being so damn inspirational, for making time for my Tough Talks tribe, right? And for bringing your positivity. Thank you so much.
Love it, man. Yeah. Hey, thank you, man. I mean, thank you for having me on and letting me share this story. And man, you're a rock star. You're a badass too, man. And I love what you got going on.
Let's let us know when that freaking bell gets rung, when the touchdown is scored and the bell is rung. I will celebrate. I'm a big fan of celebrations, Sal. I don't know if Zach told you that. But I am part of my, like these are my I am statements. And I don't know if you see right there, smack dab in the middle, it says I am.
I love it, man.
Celebration. I'm a big fan of celebration. It's a smart thing to do. So you let me know when we can celebrate the bell ring.
I would love to get out there to Arizona. Maybe you can beat me up on the golf course a little bit.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome for sure.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Chris, always a pleasure, man. Thank you again, and I really appreciate it. I love it. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thanks, dude. Take care now.
All right. Later.
I've had the belief for a long time that one of the most powerful things that we can do as humans is to make a decision on something that will be so without having clarity on how. Especially in the face of a ton of evidence indicating that that's not a very practical or realistic expectation. So, it's very impressive to me. I hope that I get to announce very soon the ringing of that bell. That's cool. So thank you, Sal, for your inspiration and for your choice to, to work with the diagnosis and to intelligently and very boldly challenge the prognosis. Right? So, thanks for joining, as always, and until our next episode of Tough Talks, great miracles.